Okay. What's a fly?
Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to the Vashon Island Unitarian Universalists. My name is Jessica. I use she, her pronouns. And I will be your service leader today. If you are visiting, please participate as you feel comfortable. You're invited to stay and introduce yourself and participate in the conversation after the service. Our congregation is committed to freedom of belief. We welcome diversity and seek to promote a sense of community that fosters religion which enriches the spirit. We are a mostly lay-led community, strengthened and enriched by the weaving together of volunteer contributions of members and friends. Our community is supported and guided by our part-time minister, Reverend Victoria Poling. As we begin our service, I invite you to take a couple of deep breaths, to settle in and be truly present for this beautiful time that we have together. I'd like to make a land acknowledgement that we are on the traditional homeland of the Swabash people. These are the Salish Coast Native people, and the Puyallup people have lived on this land since the beginning of time, stewarding these lands. And we recognize that this acknowledgement is one small step towards allyship as we commit to uplifting the voices, experiences, and histories of the Native people of this place. And we as a community have an opportunity to do that, to create a place of healing for the Native community in the new facility for women's recovery that will be opening here. So that's a commitment that we as a community are making. So whoever you are, whomever you love, However you arrived here today, you are welcome. I'd like to invite Julia to light our chalice.
Morning. I'm going to have Jerry help part of it. So welcome. What you bring, who you are, enriches us all. We say welcome to your joy, your hope, your pride. We say welcome to your grief, your fear, your anger, and the parts of you that are not yet ready to be seen and heard. Welcome to them as well. For we have people of faith, faith in our expansive welcome, faith in our ability to grow, faith in the precious gift of our truths. Notice that's truths with an S on it. Faith in the promise of trying, learning, changing. Faith in our capacity to know ourselves and each other ever deeply. Welcome to you who are gay, straight, bi, pan, lesbian, queer, questioning, unable to be contained in any word. Welcome to you who are trans, cis, genderqueer, non-binary, intersex, agender, beyond words. Welcome to you who are human. Welcome to you who love and are loved. Welcome to you who are blessed, which is each of us. May this time together be a blessing.
I'd like to invite everyone to rise in body or spirit as you are able to sing together our first hymn, which is Spirit of Love, number 120, Spirit of Life. Love, life. Number 123 in the gray hymnal. We're going to sing it a cappella. We shall, I think we start. Spirit of light, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Good morning. Our service today is a celebration of GLBTAQ, pride and identity. Our intended speaker, Kyle Britz, and I met for numbers of hours preparing for this, and he's sick. So instead of calling it actually a conversation on pride and identity, we're just calling it, what did I call it? Pride and identity. Resilient, yeah. But in the 3 hours that I spent talking with Kyle, I was just amazed. I mean, he's an amazing man, and his spirit is so strong, and it was a great learning experience for me and an opening up. And I hope that we will be able to convey today a lot of the spirit and the themes that he and I talked about. So, there you go. Our opening words are going to be read by Trish Cannett. God, I did that wrong. I sent an email about all of this to somebody named Trish. So
It's fine.
Thank you. A protest and a party. People sometimes ask, is Pride a protest or a party? And the answer is, of course, yes. Why not? Rejoice as we resist. Dance as we demand change. Celebrate as we create community that delights in all of who we are. So bring all of that with you this morning. Bring your policy demands. Bring your glitter. Bring your Supreme Court broken heart. Bring your rainbow socks. Bring in the emptiness you feel for our siblings gone too soon. Bring your Gloria Estefan remix. Bring your tender hope for change. Bring your most garish eyeshadow. Bring your spirit, tattered and battered by a world that seems insistent on choosing fear and hate. Gather up all these things and bring them here to a place where we don't have to shoulder these burdens or celebrate these joys alone.
Well, I think so far, listening to Julia's beginning and to that we could just go home. I mean, I think it really covers the spectrum of it well. And I have to say, when I got dressed, I had in mind to wear this nice, kind of brownish shirt and a brown jacket and look really professional. I thought, well, crap, it's Pride, it's a celebration, but I still wanted to wear something nice because it's also it's about respect, and there's a lot of it's a very serious subject, but it's also one of celebration. So I think most of us know that the movement, which is now actually referred to, I believe, officially as the GLBTQA+ movement, began formally kind of kicked off in 1969 with the Stonewall riots, which is an interesting beginning. It was a group of people and their allies who couldn't be pushed any further. The bars in that area had been raided over and over, and there were not very many safe refuges for people who identified differently than, man, woman, blah, blah. And finally, when the police came and expecting it to be the same, which is a relatively passive acquisition to the fact that there was force being applied against them, they rebelled. And apparently for 6 days there was a riot. And it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, because that when you push people too far, you eventually get to that place where people just can't take it anymore. And out of that often grows something beautiful. So that was not like all of that hadn't been going on forever since time began, but that was in our country. That was kind of where the force of the movement came from. And since that time, there have been many improvements in our culture and how we think and our understanding of things like gender. There's less discrimination, there's more acceptance, and there's still incredible persecution, discrimination, acts of brutality. I mean, it's a long way to go. And so what I'm trying to do today is kind of just toggle back and forth between what it feels like for people who identify there in that, whose genuine spirits of who they are not, binary, man, woman, blah, the whole traditional thing that most of us grew up with, but to look a little bit at the systems around that, and then to look at what it feels like to be one of those people, or an ally or a loved one of someone who's still struggling with that. So I had one of the just pieces of drier information that I found was this paragraph, which I really liked. It said the word pride is an integral cultural concept within the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex community, representing solidarity, collectivity, and identity, as well as resistance to discrimination and violence. I like that. I mean, I like that combination of the individual and the collective, and the solidarity and the respect and the joy. When I was meeting with Kyle, it was kind of, Mary can attest to this, it was kind of mind-blowing for me in a way, because, I identify as lesbian. I've been out since I was 40, but it's been an easy process for me. I kind of already had a sense of identity before that. I'm white, and I was a professional, and it didn't have a lot of the impacts on me that it has on people, particularly young people who still really don't know very much about who they are, and what they're met with in the world is just denial, really. So I just wanted to share a few of the concepts, the think part, that had occurred to me out of that he and I were going to talk about a little bit. I was going to ask him to talk about identity, basically. And so how I want to do that, which again is a little bit, nerdy in the head, is just to think more in depth about what goes into the concept of a person's identity. And a couple of the ideas that were really helpful to me were, one, thinking of it as a continuum, a spectrum. It's not this or it's that, it's this. And it's also fluid. It's not like the same every day. For some people, it's a very differing thing. And that's part of the nuance and the complexity that has to do with our being human and having complex brains and having incredible spirit. So there's like the whole experience of sexual attraction and romantic attraction, which is what tends to get focused on so much, which freaks people out so much. It's like, oh, well, we can't do it that way. That's wrong. And there's what Julia was talking about in her incredible list. It kind of goes from asexual to something called zonsexual, and then there's intersex, and then there's the people who have transitioned and they're trans. I mean, it's a huge thing. So there's a lot of attention given to kind of the terms that people use in that. One of them is gender, and that's kind of simply described as a society's idea of what it means to be a man, a woman, neither, or in many societies, various non-binary or third gender categories. Gender may be viewed as the cultural expectations of a person, often based on their sex assigned at birth, which also isn't even that clear. Their communication style, their role in society are all a part of gender, and society's ideas are generally based on the sex assigned at birth, which is sometimes, a little arbitrary, and in fact didn't realize that sometimes, physicians and parents eliminate parts of the body in order to make it clear that there's actual alterations of the body sometime close to birth to create some form of conformity. And then gender identity, which is one's innermost concept of self, as man, as woman, as a blend of both, or as neither, how individuals perceive themselves and what they call themselves. One's gender identity can be the same or different from the sex assigned at birth. And then there's gender expression or gender presentation, which is the way we present our gender to the world, which may or may not reflect our gender identity. Every individual expresses and presents their gender differently through everything from hairstyle and clothing to behaviors to voice, names, and pronouns. And in fact, one of the definitions that I liked is pride and identity can mean the ability to embrace and define your identity without feeling constrained by traditional definitions. Now that's a pretty hard, plate to hand to a, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 15, 20-year-old, who's still reeling from everything else in the world around them. And I just wanted to say a little bit about transitioning because this was also kind of eye-opening for me. And we have a lot of folks in our congregation who have family members who are transitioning. So I think it's good to understand it a little bit better. So this is what this one said. In order to have their gender expression align with their gender identity, what they think of themselves as being, what they are to themselves, many transgender and non-binary people will transition. Transitioning is a process that some transgender and non-binary people go through when they decide to live as their true gender, rather than the one assigned to them at birth. This is kind of what I didn't have a whole lot of knowledge about. Transitioning can take place at different speeds, at different ages, with different intensities, and in different ways. It can involve social transition, such as changing name and pronouns, medical transition, such as beginning gender-affirming medical treatments to change one's body to align with their gender, and legal transition, such as changing name and gender markers on licenses and IDs. So it's just, when you hear somebody is trans, you don't make assumptions either about what that means because, as with everything else, there's this huge complexity to it. So that's what I wanted to that's the context for, what we've already had today and what will follow for the rest of our service. And I'm going to invite, a video. I'm going to invite a video. So, thanks.
When I was in the 3rd grade, I thought that I was gay, cause I could draw. My uncle was, and I kept my room straight. I told my mom, tears rushing down my face. She's like, Ben, you've loved girls since before pre-K. Shrimping. Yeah, I guess she had a point, didn't she? Bunch of stereotypes all in my head. I remember doing the math, like, yeah, I'm good at Little League. A preconceived idea of what it all meant. For those that like the same sex, have the characteristics. The right-wing conservatives think it's a decision, and you can be cured with some treatment and religion. Man-made rewiring of a predisposition, playing God. Oh nah, here we go. America the brave still fears what we don't know. God loves all his children. It's somehow forgotten, but we paraphrase a book written 3,500 years ago. I don't know.
And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm.
If I was gay, I would think hip-hop hates me. Have you read the YouTube comments lately? Man, that's gay gets dropped on the daily. We become so numb to what we're saying. A culture founded from oppression, yet we don't have acceptance for 'em. Call each other faggots behind the keys of a message board. A word rooted in hate, yet our genre still ignores it. Gay is synonymous with the lesser. It's the same hate that's caused wars from religion, gender to skin color, the complexion of your pigment. The same fight that led people to walkouts and sit-ins. It's human rights for everybody. There is no difference. Live on and be yourself. When I was in church, they taught me something else. If you preach hate at the service, those words aren't anointed. That holy water that you soak in has been poisoned. When everyone else is more comfortable remaining voiceless rather than fighting for humans that have had their rights stolen. I might not be the same, but that's not important. No freedom till we're equal. Damn right I support it. I don't know.
And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm.
We press play, don't press pause. Progress march on. With the veil over our eyes, we turn our back on the cause. Till the day that my uncles can be united by law. When kids are walking around the hallway, plagued by pain in their heart. A world so hateful, some would rather die than be who they are. And a certificate on paper isn't gonna solve it all, but it's a damn good place to start. No law is gonna change us. We have to change us. Whatever God you believe in, we come from the same one. Strip away the fear. Underneath it's all the same love. About time that we raised up.
Can't
Sex.
change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm.
Says a lot, doesn't it? Yeah. So I'm going to ask Jeff Cole to come up and do our next reading. And Jeff, I'm going to ask you to read it twice, because it's short, and you know you got to really get in there at the beginning to get it. Thanks.
Yeah, it is short. You should know that it was written by a high school student. Queer, as in always becoming, as in less this or that, and more multi-layered, multi-dimensional, and complex, as in intimately experienced and beyond definition. So, queer, as in always becoming, as in less this or that, and more multi-layered, multi-dimensional, and complex, as in intimately experienced and beyond definition.
No, your mom don't get it, and your dad don't get it, Uncle John don't get it. And you can't tell Grandma 'cause her heart can't take it, and she might not make it. They say don't dare, don't you even go there, cutting off your long hair, you do as you're told. Till you wake up, go put on your makeup, this is just a phase you're gonna outgrow. There's something wrong in the village, in the village. Oh, they stare in the village, in the village. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you. It's true, it's true. There's something wrong with the village, with the village. There's something wrong with the village. Feel the rumors follow you from Monday all the way to Friday dinner. You got one day shelter, then it's Sunday hell to pay, you young lost sinner. Well, I've been there sitting in that same chair, whispering that same prayer 500,000 times. It's a lie though, burying disciples, one page of the Bible isn't worth a life. There's something wrong in the village, in the village. Oh, they stare in the village,
Let's just take a minute to breathe. So I'm going to ask Tish and Jeff to come up, and they're going to share some of the responses that were online to this video over time when it's come out. I have to say, I just keep wanting to play that over and over. There's just something that's so moving and passionate about that. Yeah. Thanks.
Decided. It's not about decided. It's about the little scraps of light inside you that die every time someone earnestly calls you something you're not. It's holding and learning to sit with the knowledge that the closest anyone's ever come to calling you what you are was meant to be an insult. It's crying in bed or on the bathroom floor or in the kitchen when no one is home because your body fits as well as a pair of jeans you've outgrown. It's wanting to pull off the parts of yourself that feel like someone else's. It's being afraid to speak, not for fear someone will hear you, but because it hurts to be reminded that the voice that's yours in your head is not that which lives in your throat. It's learning that your parents don't know who you are, and for some, that they would rather you die as a shadow of yourself, as a lie, than live as a person who's hiding inside from the very beginning. There's hope, believe me. There will be people who see and look after you. Even if they're not your kin, they will become your family. In their arms, you'll learn to stop lying, and you will begin to heal. Stay strong, little sibling. We're waiting for you.
I'm non-binary and arrow ace, but that line, one page of a Bible isn't worth a life, made me shed a tear. No music has made me cry before. If anyone is reading this, you're not abnormal, you're not broken, you're just you. And I know that it's sometimes hard to believe, trust me, I've been there, but you can just be you, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm a trans man, and I come from a very broken home, and when I came out to my divorced parents, they threatened to kick me out. I now live with my best friend from high school, who is like my sister, and she supports me. She supports me and her parents as well, and it makes me finally feel like a son. And this song makes me feel like I matter and have hope.
This song is describing my feelings, my life. I am non-binary person in Russia, and I don't want to be here. I never asked to be born here, but there I am fighting every day for a better life. My life, life of my non-binary partner, and all trans and non-binary people, we are valid.
So I'm wondering, Wyatt, if you might have something else you could play. It's not on the agenda, but something that people could think about while you're playing.
Sure.
Thanks.
Instrumental or?
All right. This is a song. It's about a lot of things, but it's about identity as well. I need someone to save me. Someone to save me. Someone come to save me and take me far away. There's a pain in my chest, and I can't help but say that the rose that once had bloomed has gone away. That it feels like it was almost the same old play. So please believe me when I tell you I'm in pain. Please believe me when I tell you I'm in pain. Someone save me, someone save me, someone save me and take me far away. There's a pain in my chest, and I can't help but say that the rose that once had bloomed has gone away. That it feels like it was all the same old play. Please believe me when I tell you I'm in pain. Please believe me when I tell you I'm in pain. I fooled myself in your glory and your love, and it felt so nice. Blind my eyes with what it is I want to see, and turn away when it really is there. I have it now. I have the trust within. It's not you, it's me that I needed to win.
Thank you so much. It's beautiful. So we're going to pause the recording for joys and concerns. And this is that time when, as a caring community, it's a love. It's on the inside of the hymnal. Are we ready? There is a love. now going to resume recording as we finish the service. As members and friends of the Vashon Island Unitarian Universalist, we commit to support our congregation. Financial resources help pay for speakers and staff, support our social justice programs that are beyond these walls and in this community, and maintain our building. So please support the Vashon Island Unitarian Universalist with your pledges and offerings so that we can continue this vital community. Our greeters will now pass the offering basket as we sing We Give Thanks, which is also inside the front of our gray hymnal. Oh, we give thanks. Alex is going to play one more video for us. We have, oh, is that right? That is so correct. Okay, good. All right, Alex is going to play one more video for us. The last clip is called "The Girl in Red." It's a celebration of love.
So, and Alex just suggested that I let you guys know that it was Runa's daughter who suggested this song for us. So.
Hiding for so long, these feelings they're not gone. Can I tell anyone?
I'll invite Julia to come and extinguish the chalice.
Love holds you. Love bears witness to all your inherent dignity and worthiness. It witnesses how you try, succeed, and fail, and it doesn't flinch. Love will not let go. Love holds all of us.
Wyatt's going to play a little bit for us as we close.
All right. So this is originally, I didn't think I was going to do a song in the middle. So, this is something that's complete. This is just a goofy song I wrote. I feel like I just need to let the mood a little bit.
Go Wyatt.
Yeah. Okay. Why are you calling my number? Have I not made myself clear? Have you lied like a love? And of that I've had enough. So why do you still say my name? Why don't I just block you? I don't see what was that great. Where I'd sit and I'd wait just to listen to you berate our friends who weren't there but me. So if I were to call you, I'd say boo boo da da boo da boo da da boo da boo 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 da boo 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 da da boo da boo 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 da boo da boo da da dee 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 boo da da boo da boo da boo da boo da da boo da da boo da da boo da boo da da dee boo da boo da boo da da. Why are you calling my number? Have I not made myself clear that you lie like a lump? And of that I've had enough. So if I like you, then do I just have bad taste? Why are you calling my number? I don't see what was that great. I'd sit and I'd wait just to listen to you berate. Thanks.
All right. Ring the chime. Oh, come on. All right. So that concludes our formal service. We're going to have a brief time for announcements.